G'day, Steve Morgan here, Australian Bass Tournaments. We have finished the qualifying rounds of the 2022 Daiwa BREAM Series. We've done it at Gladstone, a place where you, Tommy Deere, winner of this event, have come second before. So you were saying inside, over 15 years you've been fishing ABT events. This is your first one. Massive congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Yeah, it is good to win, but for most of the latter years, I've just been fishing just for the fun of it. It's sort of like golf. You don't have to beat the people you're up against. You just have to, have a nice day and do well and just, feel good about it.
Well, when your time comes, it definitely comes. It was a big win. I think it was over a kilo of between first and second, and you did it fairly close to town here. Like, you didn't travel too far to do it. Take us through the situation that you fished, and also I want to see that notes that you had in your pocket. You had the tides in this place sorted out. I'm just going to show the camera this. This is the secret notes here. It's not a shopping list. That's Tommy's tides. He's got them all written out. And you were saying that you love these tidal sort of flats fisheries like St Helens in Tassie, like Gladstone. Take us through some of your logic when it comes to fishing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, this place does change a lot with the height of the tide and also the flow. So I still haven't quite got a handle on whether it's the height that's important or the flow. I suspect it's the flow. Today we had less flow and we had a higher low and a lower high, so like today just made life difficult for myself. Yesterday there was, the current didn't start up until about 9 o'clock, and that's when I started catching my fish, and it just sort of continued on until the water gets too high, and then the fish are off doing whatever they want to do somewhere else.
Yeah, so it's all about taking advantage of that bite window in between when it's too low and they're not off, and when it's too high and they're up in the mangroves. Take us through the techniques you use to catch the fish.
Okay, so on day one, my first fish came on top water on a sugar pen, and I mean there was blue salmon cruising around, there was everything cruising around in the shallows, and then I saw a prawn skip across the top, and I just cast the sugar pen straight at it, and the hook stuck, and that was my first fish. After that, I went to my favourite technique, just rolling a crank. It seems a bit basic and boring, but it's the thing I've done for the last 2.5 years, and it's been working. So basically just looking for water, probably about shin deep, but it could be ankle deep, anything up to maybe just above the knee, and then just casting in and then rolling out. So
take us through the tackle you use to do that. You're sponsored by Atomic Froglies Offshore, and you've got a whole suite of their gear here.
Yeah, that's right. I've got a Samurai 7'4", 2 to 6 kilo rod. That's just to get a bit of extra distance. This is Unitica braid, and I think it's 6 pound Unitica braid and 6 pound Unitica leader, with a Daiwa Sol 2000. And the only other outfit I was throwing was the same sort of outfit, but was straight through fluorocarbon.
Yep. Take us through the bait. That's it's one of the newer colour atomics there. That's the Hards 38. It's a classic bream lure. That colour's a bit out there though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's now my favourite colour. I mean, I have liked it over the last couple of years. It's called rock crab, and yesterday I think all of my fish came on that, apart from the ones that I got on the sugar pen. And today most fish came on this, and the only other colour I used was the muddy prawn colour, and I just alternate between the deep diver and the mid diver, just depending on the water depth, and just chuck it in and roll it back.
Is there any difference between the yellowfin and the pikey bream, because there are two types of bream here in this in the harbour? Any difference in technique to catch them, or is it just lucky dip which one jumps on?
Yeah, no, it's not lucky dip. I mean, the yellowfin are in that sort of flat country, flat, sandy, shaly sort of country, and the pikeys tend to be in the rocky country. But they can be in ankle deep water as well. So, I mean, the only thing with the pikeys is like today and yesterday is I was using top water because I was casting into quite shallow water and it was rocky. So I didn't want to go in and try to, get a lure off a rock, because first thing this morning I did that and I must have spooked a school of 50 bream.
Yep.
And I thought my day's not starting well.
So fishing such shallow water, is it an advantage being in an aluminium boat? You run a Stace, obviously doesn't have much draft compared to some of the bass boats that are out there. You think it's an advantage?
Yeah, definitely. If you can get in shallow, it's an advantage. But also the Minn Kota Talon, it does mean that you're going to catch a lot more fish if you've got a Talon, just to hold the position, because yesterday particularly, if I caught one, I would then catch another 3 or 4 without moving the boat.
Yep.
Today they were spread out and that didn't work so much, but you need a Talon.
Awesome. Any sponsors you want to thank, apart from the lovely Bridget, who's always a help here at ABT events and your number one fan and coach? Any of the industry people look after you?
Yes, well, Michael Starkey at Frogley's Offshore. I've been an ambassador probably for 13 years or something, and he's always stood by me, even though I'm from South Australia, not a big market for Frogley's down there, but Frogley's Offshore have been really good. And also Club Marine Insurance. They organise my insurance. If ever there's a problem with a claim or anything, they fix it up.
Get it sorted.
Yep.
Well, a couple of long-term sponsors there for one of ABT's long-term anglers. Great to see the man get across the line. Finally.
Yes. Thanks very much.